something brewing. Something.
So maybe first and foremost, for everybody who's here, can I get you all to introduce yourselves and what instrument you play?
I'm David Piquel, and I play the piano.
I'm Joni Bai, and I sang on this.
I'm Sherry Ulrich, and I sang on this.
I'm Lindy Kidder, and I sang on this.
I'm Candace Churchill, and I sang on this.
It sounds like some kind of a ritual, you know. Or speak now or forever hold your peace.
Or an AA meeting.
So it's
I'm Sherry
me.
Ulrich, I'm a singer.
Exactly, singer.
Here comes
I'm a
Carrie.
recovering singer.
Carrie just logged in. So Carrie's our quote-unquote bass player. But maybe, Carrie, you could explain who you are and what you played.
My name's Kerry Galloway, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm a bass player, and as previously mentioned, let me just, there. Hey, good morning. Now I can see everybody. And this is what I was playing. Not often you get to play a bass ukulele on a track, so.
I've never even heard of a bass ukulele before.
Good, clean fun.
I hadn't either.
So I suppose I should ask first and foremost to whomever would like to answer it. And maybe the answer is quite obvious because of the times we live in, but what inspired you to want to write and perform this song?
That guy.
Dave.
He wrote it.
Well, don't get me talking about the song or I'll never shut up. So can I tell you a little bit about the genesis of how this came to be?
Of course.
You know, it was March 22nd, I remember, because in my computer there's a little sketch of a song that's dated March 22nd. A friend of mine had said, her name's Jan, and she texted me and said, David, you know, I'm getting so tired of washing my hands, it's driving me, you know, you should write a funny song about hand washing. And so I don't normally take requests, but she, within about half an hour, I was working with this line, manual extremity, which is the name for the hand. And I thought, okay, what rhymes with manual extremity? So anyway, really quickly, the song came together, and I was playing it and singing it at midnight in my apartment. And then I thought, this is too cool. I better try to get some people, some people that I know to find a way to record it. So the next day or two, I started begging, and everybody just jumped, and so that's what we did. And I mean, the mission, I think, is to cheer. It's a cheerful little song, as you know. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and it's very much like the swing era. I did a little research on that. After I wrote the song, I realized this was a swing era song. And so I went back and thought about like the Andrews Sisters and all those kind of groups that were entertaining people during the war, back in the Second World War. And this has the same kind of feel to it. It's like really bright and positive. And so I just thought people got to hear this because it'll give them a smile.
And for the rest of the group, so he got in touch with you guys and said, hey, I've got this song. I could use some friends to record it. We're all in social isolation, but I need a little help. How did that conversation go?
Just like that. Oh, he's just so damn lovable. I mean, who can say no to Dave?
You tried to, but I wouldn't let you.
I always tried in the beginning.
Well, Niki, I had to ask people what they had available at home to record, because a lot of really good musicians only go out to recording studios. Like, these are some of the best recording musicians in Vancouver, and one in Toronto, by the way. But they always get in their car, drive to the studio, and get paid huge sums of money to record there. So, okay, so now you're at home. What exactly have you got? So some people, yeah, Sherry, right. Okay, so some people are like, well, I think I can do this. I've got a microphone and so like, well, Randall, the drummer, he has never recorded himself, but he's one of the most highly sought after drummers, not only in Vancouver, but all over, right? So now he's got a little recording setup in his basement and he sounds great. He put the mics on. I mean, he's seen it done for 20 years. So he just went, okay, I guess it goes here, and this goes there.
So he did that for this session? He put it together for this session?
This is Randall's first home recording, and he did it for this song. Yeah.
See, this is one of the many, many wonderful benefits I think that's coming out of this. I know that sounds twisted to say, but in our world, I'm finding that there's a whole lot of us who are realizing what they can do from their homes.
Yeah.
And it's very empowering. Like I know I haven't done any video from home before. I did something when this started for Fiona Forbes, and I've been putting it off for years, and it's similar kind of story. Like, hey, I can do this here. I mean, I've recorded stuff at home. I do have a studio, but it's different putting it out into the world.
Yeah.
Directly. Yeah.
It's amazing what we learn technology can actually allow us to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool to hear. I didn't know that about Randall.
Yeah. Well, we had to do a little bit of adjustment because the first recording he sent, the engineering on it was less than spectacular. The drumming was spectacular. So the mixing engineer, Mike, had to get in touch with Randall and say, yeah, Randall, it's a great performance, but it's distorted. So can you...
Oh, no.
So Randall played it again. Exactly the same, but with his levels turned down, and then the files came through clean as clean could be.
Wow. Well, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And for the singers, did you guys find it difficult to all harmonize with each other from recording at all different times and all different locations?
What Dave did made it pretty easy because he sent a reference track that was played. So it was really, really accurate. So we could listen to that and get the accuracy, and we didn't actually sing together. But
And Linda was the first voice on this, so we all went with Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you sounded great, by the way. Everyone did, but I first heard the track. I thought, oh, that's so cute. Linda sounds great.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much. It's a very different vocal for me, you know. Hardly any vibrato. I love to sing vibrato. So there was.
Yeah. When have you ever heard, could you have a little more vibrato in the next take?
Never. It's like less.
That was the hardest part, was toning down my own vibrato to match you.
I know, and I was only doing it because that's what Dave wanted. I thought at the end of it, I thought, wow, that hardly even sounds like me, like whatever, but it had to be that way because of,
the genre,
the harmonies, all the other singers. It had to be that way.
And did you do it from home on GarageBand?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, GarageBand. That's the secret, Niki. Everybody has GarageBand.
Yeah.
Is that what you all used?
Not me, but it's easy enough to take the final files and fit them into GarageBand afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was lucky because Dave Say, my husband, was playing on the track, playing sax, and he's got a little studio downstairs, so it was easy for me to just go down, hey, I want to do this thing too, and so here we were, and it was fun. And I was lucky to have Rebecca's track there too, and for blend purposes, I was trying to match her we're on the same harmony as much as possible, so it all flow. And it was great. It was fun. I loved it.
How many musicians in total performed on this piece?
I think it's either 11 or 12. Okay, like we had a guitar player named Andreas Schultz, who's everywhere doing everything, except for not right now because he's at home. One of the cool things about this is when you're calling people now, they're not going to be out. They're going to be home and
Yeah.
I know they're going to be home, and so they can't, they can't ignore you. That
Can't say no to you.
you're actually going to reach them. I was thinking of phoning, Celine Dion, because she's probably at home. Hey, Celine, I've got a little something here. But
There's
so
no way you'd get her to not do a vibrato.
That's right.
anyway,
Wouldn't have worked for this one.
Yeah, forget it.
But to answer your question, so we have a full rhythm section: bass, guitar, piano, and drums. And then we have a wonderful 4-part horn section, which was Dave Say, Steve Hilliam on baritone, Tom Keenley's side, and Vince Mai on trumpet. Tom wrote the arrangement, and he knocked it right out of the park, and he did it in like an hour, which blows me away. And then all the singers, like we had, well, Linda was like the Rudolph. I call her Rudolph because she's leading, right? So we got Linda first, and then we sent her around to, I don't know, maybe a half a dozen singers. And I wanted, actually, I hate to say it, because we didn't quite manage this, but I wanted to get vocals done in Montreal and Toronto as well as Vancouver, because I thought it would be kind of a cool storyline, if you will, But I struck out in Montreal, not for lack of trying. And
Celine just didn't want to do it.
What's that?
Celine just didn't want to do it.
But so what we ended up with was a really nice blended vocal group. I don't know, it reminds me of the Modernaires a little bit, even though they're mostly guys, but
Modernaires.
the Modernaires, no, the neo-Modernaires. So yeah, about 12.
How it came together in the end when you heard the final piece. What were your thoughts when you finally heard it all come together?
Oh, I loved it. It was fabulous with the everything together. It was fantastic. Such a fun song. I love it.
Yeah. Tom did a kick-ass job on that horn arrangement too, hey?
That's what I was going to say. The horns just blew me away when I heard it, because we had just heard the vocal kind of guide track and a little bit of
Piano.
Right?
That's about it. But the horns.
Yeah. Obviously, everything went on one at a time, and I think did a lot of you just work from piano and a click track, right? Like a metronome.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. So when it all ended up in my studio, because everybody sent their recordings back to me, and when I put them all, okay, wait a minute, there's somebody else. I think this might be Randall. Yeah. It's someone called Pine Top. There it is.
There it is. Hey.
morning.
Anyway, what I was saying was we got, when I got all the files back here, all the audio files, and put them all together and sat back and listened to it, the first thought was, OMG, how am I going to mix all this stuff? Because I'm not really the best mixing engineer there is by any means. So we got a guy named Mike Omand to, once again, I begged, we got this song, and he was happy. I think, Carrie, you turned me on to Mike, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so Carrie's the one to blame. So anyway, when Mike got it, he knows what he's doing engineering-wise, and he made the vocals sound great, and the horns balanced everything, and sent me a rough, and that's when I fell off my chair. It just sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much. It was so lovely chatting with you. Any sort of closing thoughts about the song or anything like that?
This one.
Just hope it makes people wash their hands,
Yeah.
Stay home.
10 more, please. 10 more like that.
I just want to say, because I've been thinking about, ever since I started telling people we were doing this, people have been sending me links to all of these great musicians who are in their homes, putting out stuff that has to do with our current state, the current conditions. And, so I started thinking, well, we're just sort of adding to the pile. But then I thought, we're going to go for radio release. Like we're going to try to get on AM, FM radio, and because a lot of people that I know, especially older people, they don't necessarily do Facebook, and they're not in that sort of culture, but they all listen to the radio almost, at home. The radio's on. So I thought if this thing comes over the radio, people all over the place are gonna get a grin. And also the thing about our thing, which I haven't heard anyone else doing, is that this echoes the swing era, which was that other period when nobody knew what was going to happen and everyone needed a little optimism. So we're just having fun with a very unfun topic, right?
That's fantastic. Hey, I forgot to ask you guys, do you mind if we go across one by one and say which part of the country you're all from, or which city?
Sure, I'll start.
Where do we start? It's hard to know because I don't know if you guys are seeing the same order of photos that I'm.
Yeah. North Vancouver, born, raised, still here.
We're in Port Moody.
I'm in Burnaby, BC.
I'm in Keats.
I'm in West Van.
Bowen Island. Well, you probably know where Bowen Island is because you're in Vancouver, right?
That's awesome. Well, thanks again so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. It was lovely chatting with you guys, and thanks for sharing the song.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having us, Niki. It was fun.
Scrubbity, 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 scrub.